Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Board Meeting Recap with Chris Adsit. Today I will cover the Arrowhead School Board meeting that took place on Wednesday night, December 10th. Now, this one I hope you stick around for. There's some good stuff in this one. Also, as a reminder, these are my board thoughts. They don't represent the voice of the board. They are just my summary notes to you in an effort of transparency and keeping you connected to the school so you know what's happening. Of course, you're always welcome to watch online on our YouTube channel or attend in person. All right, let's start it off. First of all, the meeting started off different than any other meeting I've ever been to. The school brought in the Broadway company. So this is a group of students, singing and performing students, and they performed for the board and the administration. Unbelievable. These kids are amazing. Their voices sound like angels. It was incredibly emotional because they were so good. So this is probably one of those times where it's worth going to our YouTube channel, watch at least the first 10 minutes just to hear these kids sing. Hats off to the administration, the school, the parents, and the kids. You're incredible. All right, so that set the stage for the meeting. Then we went into some really good stuff for the school, and I'm excited to share. So we went through our school report card with our CISA rep, Eric Larson, and he goes through and explains all the different parts of the school report card. Now, I'm very excited to share this with you because it's great news for Arrowhead. First, we were the only union district in the state, the only one that got categorized as significantly exceeding expectations. And that's a big deal. Feeder districts feed into Arrowhead, which means Arrowhead does not have control over their curriculum, their teaching, their experiences, and their levels. So they just get them in the freshman year. So to get to that point of significantly exceeds expectation, that says an awful lot about Arrowhead and our entire district. So great job there. Here's some of the other things. Our growth scores. So growth scores track how students perform year over year. And are they growing? Are they improving? They went from a 58% last year to 79.2, a 21% increase. Again, we're moving the needle in the right direction. Wait till you hear our achievement scores. Our achievement, Arrowhead, was the same or higher than 98.4% of the schools in the state. That shows you how high of achievement that our students are accomplishing. So wonderful there. Now, what about the other students? What about the ones that are challenged? So that's called our target group. That's how students are classified. That's the bottom 25% of students as determined by test scores. The state tracks how well they improve because you can't leave the kids behind. I'm very happy to report we went from a 61% to 85.5. That shoots up our growth performance. So our overall growth score then went from 58 to 79%. That's what I shared with you. So that target group improving like it did is what was the foundation of our growth year over year. So again, they are doing incredible things. We've turned the corner, and Arrowhead is becoming even better. Oh, and by the way, we have a 99.5% graduation rate, which means we are 99.5% better than the rest of the state. So keep up the great work there. Graduation date did not change. There was some talk about potentially moving the graduation date, so I'm sure all of the families that had already planned events for June 6th, you may keep them. Nothing is changing, so we're all good there. The board did discuss and take action on the annexation into the village of Heartland. If you heard about that, that was moving Arrowhead from the municipality of Merton and into Heartland. And I think it's a good thing, and it passed unanimously 9-0 to send a petition to the village board to accept Arrowhead into the village. The reasons behind it are that it helps with security and safety, with police and fire already being close and being able to help serve and take care of Arrowhead. It's close to the community, close to the downtown, and it builds that relationship with the village of Heartland for, who knows, even potential opportunities of working together in the future. So this is more of a municipal change. Doesn't affect taxes. It's not going to affect anything for families. The boundaries don't change. The feeder districts don't change. It's a municipal change. So just so you know, it's not done. It's not over. We just voted to send a petition to the village of Heartland for that change. Then I always cover donations. Always. So Matthew Dufik donated $1,500 to the HOSA, and that's the Future Health Professionals Fund. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. And then the Generac Foundation to our robotics program donated another $1,000. Again, so thankful for the support that our school and our kids get from the community. Our curriculum, again, a lot of the other stuff coming, not a whole lot. Curriculum just approved the 26, 27, the next year's worth of curriculum. The administration did a great job putting that together, visually very nice as well as content. And so that approved unanimously. So the curriculum is set for the following year. Building and grounds had a lot of things that they're talking about in the committee, but there's not really any actionable items for the board at this time, more probably to come in January. The good news from the finance side of the building and grounds was that we were audited, passed with flying colors. Jeff Gross, our business manager, always does a great job, and so you can be sure that your funds are being managed appropriately. Personnel legislation, the big thing that came out of that is we passed an operating agreement of how the board and the administration will work together collaboratively to increase scores, to accomplish the things that we do. And it's like commitments that we make to each other, like a resolution. And that passed 9-0. So that's good. That helps for operational efficiency in the board. And then the last three things were in policy. Now, these are bigger discussion items. The first one was to update a policy on our open enrollment language. So the policy change itself wasn't all that different. It was just updating the language and a few of the different steps for our open enrollment program. But what also did come up tonight, and you should be aware of this, is there's a larger discussion that's taking place at Arrowhead on the board and the administration about the possibility of looking at how we accept and have open enrollment seats. As enrollment continues to go down throughout the state and in our community, open enrollment has often been seen as a way to put extra students in seats that don't have extra cost because you already have a teacher in a classroom. The problem is we're getting to numbers and positions where eliminating those out-of-district students from coming to Arrowhead might have a financial impact in the positive sense for Arrowhead. And so we really have to evaluate the entirety of the program. Now, if that were to change, it could affect families in our feeder districts that are coming to Arrowhead. I imagine if and when it does change, that there would be a grace period and some sort of a transition time of a few years that would allow students already in our feeders to come to Arrowhead if they're getting close to the high school level. Hasn't been determined yet. So it will come back in the January meeting. So if you have thoughts and opinions, please reach out to your board members and share them with us. So the only thing voted on tonight was just updating the policy language. The board also voted unanimously to approve credits and the amount of credits that are needed and how we classify credits for graduation. It's, again, just aligning policy with what the practice already was. So nothing really different there. And then the last policy that came through was the one on restoring biological truth. And that has to do with the difference between biological sex and gender. And the board voted unanimously to support and implement that policy to stick to sex designation. If you're interested in the wording on that policy, please go to the website, to the board section of the website. You can download and read it for yourself in the language. I think a lot of it is very common sense, and most people will agree with it. But that did pass unanimously, 9-0 to implement. So that's what we had for tonight. I appreciate you sticking around. If you find these helpful, please let me know. If you have any additional questions or requests, email me at my school email address. Otherwise, I won't see you until January, so please have a Merry Christmas, a blessed New Year. Thank you for your support. Thank you for letting me serve you in this capacity, and may God bless you and our entire community.